Today I'm comparing Deel and Rippling's pricing. These HR, employment of records, companies that do a whole range of things, were in the news kind of last year, basically for corporate espionage. I believe the issue was that Deel was trying to spy on Rippling, which is one of its biggest rivals. I obviously have no kind of comment on that sort of thing. I'm just looking at the pricing today, but it's interesting that these two companies are quite bitter rivals. Let's start with Deel's pricing. Something I really like here is that they have a transparent pricing, which is not something you always find with B2B kind of sales companies here. The first thing that they're pushing here is to hire them as the employee of records. They have plans starting from $5.99 a month for the standard, $8.99 a month per employee, it should be noted here, per employee per month sort of thing. That's going to add up a lot sort of thing. That's going to be $10,000 a year if you're using their enterprise one for those employees. You can use them as a PEO service, which starts at $125 per employee per month. You can hire contractors from as little as $49 per month. Contractor of record, in this case $325 per contractor per month. They have applicant tracking and additional services which you conduct to their sales team, which of course every company is going to have something like that. And they have a kind of a talent thing here to help with hiring people from that, starting at $99 per hire plus recruitment fees. Those recruitment fees can be quite high. The next kind of tier of sort of things that they offer is their HR kind of module here. Their cheapest one here is just $5 per employee per month. Kind of gives you some basic things here that you need for HR. Again, their next level up is $14 per employee per month. Again, with some more kind of advanced features, and then their develop level is $22 per employee per month. And then there's kind of recruit and development at $30 per employee per month, and then a full HR solution, which I guess is everything that's here, is at $56 per employee per month. You have to decide for your business how much you need from these sort of things, but they offer a big range of options here. In fact, there's so many that it might be a bit confusing. Then they offer a payroll solution as well. So if you're looking to just manage payroll, you don't need the HR kind of aspect. You can just use their payroll thing option here. They have a global and US options. The global one starts at $29 per employee per month. And the really cool thing here, this is where I think they started as a company, is that they'll do the local tax and filing and reporting requirements and do all the multi-currency sort of stuff. This is, I think, a huge value here for just $29 per employee. For them to deal with all those sort of headaches and everything like that. They're obviously pushing some of their other features a bit more here, but this is just, to me, is where the real value is. And if you only have employees in the US, they charge just $24 per employee per month. And again, they do all their filing sort of thing at the federal, state, and local levels, the W-2s, W-4s, 1099s, all those sort of fun paperwork things that you probably don't want to deal with. They can have all that done. Again, pretty neat that they have this sort of thing. And then again, they do push this kind of employee records thing, as you can see here, even on their kind of pay thing here. They can be the legal employer for some of these things and do onboarding compliance, all sorts of benefits and all that sort of stuff. You have to decide, is it worth it for you to deal with this at just $29 per employee per month, or do you want to go up and have them handle a lot more of the sort of stuff? But that's really adding up at almost $600 if you're hiring in some of these countries like the Philippines or in Latin America. The cost of the software can easily be approaching the kind of cost of some of the employees in some cases. And finally, they have some IT solutions here. So again, helping with onboarding with device setup and making sure everyone has the right tools and kind of access to everything like that. The starter plan is just $45 per user per month, and you can go up to $133 per user per month, again, with all sorts of different additional options here. You'd have to decide how locked down you basically want things are and how much control you want over it itself. And then they have a bunch of kind of add-ons you can see here, from endpoint protection to 24-hour support to all sorts of access and identity management sort of options here. They have a huge range of features and options that they can offer companies, and which one is right for you will kind of depend. I should mention all these prices were accurate at the time of filming, but it may have changed, and you can obviously have a link to these kind of pages so you can double check if anything's changed since then. Now, jumping over to Rippling, their biggest competitor, and they do the thing which I really dislike, which is they will say you can get a free quote for all their sort of things here. You have to enter in all your information here, work, company name, employees, all this sort of stuff. But they do have a pricing page because they know people are searching for it. But if you look down here, they have their platform here, which lists here. They have their kind of HR and payroll sort of things, time and attendance, payroll, benefits administration, scheduling, recruiting, headcount planning, performance management, surveys, PEO services, HR services. Like they offer a lot of the same sort of stuff that Deel does, and even IT services here as well. But they don't have any definitive kind of pricing here, which means you have to talk to sales. I'm obviously going to offer you some sort of bespoke thing here. You can see the sort of different platforms that they have here and different stuff that they have, but again, there's no pricing available here. In these cases, I sometimes just jump to see what kind of Google's AI overviews are doing. This is kind of scraping other kind of sources for sort of things, and it gives you, I wouldn't rely on this at all for accurate pricing, but it gives you a baseline sort of thing. So their cheapest sort of things are about $8 per employee per month, which is a kind of the cheapest sort of Deel things as well. Their cheapest HR plan was $5 per employee per month. That sounds probably about right. And then they're saying it's $21 to $29 per employee per month for some of their added things. I'd imagine looking at Deel's pricing that Rippling's is probably going to be very similar. I think that might be a little bit low. Again, additional add-on sort of thing there. And they do note down here that Rippling does not have a public fixed-tier pricing model, which, as we just saw, so you must request a quote for an exact price. I'll link to both Deel and Rippling's kind of pages. If Rippling ever changes, that it will have a transparent pricing. You can check that out and have a look there. Would love to know anyone who's used either platform, which they like, or things that you don't like. If you can leave a comment in the comment section below about your kind of feelings about both softwares, I'd love to hear it. So look forward to reading those. Thanks.